welcome back to The Watch. And, if some people are not aware how unhinged certain woke activists are, I'd like to think that this story might red pill some people. But honestly, if you want to be red pilled, just look at some of the stuff libs of TikTok posts about.
They tried to ban,
Yeah, like some of these ideologues are crazy.
Evil? Retarded?
Yeah. I wouldn't discount mental disability as a part of it. Because recently, one of these unhinged woke type people offered money for someone to be killed. And specifically, Grums, Mark Kern, we have done a video covering how he is trying to get Stellar Blade uncancelled. And this is an important moment in the Gamergate to just gaming, community sphere generally, about trying to get the message through to developers that gamers just want good games. Don't bow down to the censorship mob. And it was bizarre. Like, watch our video. The censorship that they put in was so pointless. And people are trying to say, what's the issue then? They like all these other games are overly sexualized. And then that is the question. Like, yeah, if it's not so big, why is it getting censored? It's achieving nothing. It's just like trying to, appease some consultancy groups or some weird things like that. And the message needs to go through that do not listen to these consultancy groups. So Mark has been pushing back, and he has a hashtag Free Stellar Blade, and he has a set list of things to try that seem actionable. Go watch our video to know what those actionable points are to get it uncensored. Well, someone, in response to the fact that Grums wants to get Stellar Blade uncancelled, let's see what they post. It's here. So Mark has this tweet where he says, all of Eve's outfits uncensored. That is what it was supposed to be. And he references YouTube video. This guy on Twitter, by the tag Toneman, says, 20k to anyone that makes this dip, SHIT, disappear. That sounds like...
That's a threat against his life.
Not only a threat, a call to action for someone to murder someone.
Yep.
That's announcing a hit on someone. That is literally a felon, illegal. That is a call to violence. Not only a call to violence, an encouragement, a statement that they would pay. Now, I do not see any sarcasm in that. That seems... And to try and be as balanced as possible, it seems like this is an expression of deep resent and annoyance, and they're just saying, get this guy disappeared, and then they say offhand 20k, right? The thing is, though, this type of language does encourage people...
Yeah. I'm just sitting here thinking, right?
To act badly, let's say.
You know how for the past 10 years we've been wondering, how do these people think, if at all?
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you think, okay, so this man wants a video game about a sexy lady uncensored? I will offer $20,000 to have him killed.
Even in jest, this is unbelievably unhinged. That they are so affronted by Grums here trying to get Stellar Blade uncancelled, right? Uncensored, that they would express a desire for him to
not exist.
Disappear. And of course the framing to disappear someone means to murder them. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Like, the level of unhinged violence that's in this sphere of activists is crazy. And it's not the only example. The whole punch a Nazi meme, right? You know why they say that? That's because they call nearly anyone that disagrees with them Nazis. And then if they try and normalize it's okay to punch a Nazi, that means it's okay for them to be violent against their ideological opponents if they can vilify them and dehumanize them. And they dehumanize them by calling them Nazis, right? You're not actually hitting a person, you're hitting a Nazi, right? And so that's why, we see Antifa acting out in horribly violent, ways, all these activists and stuff like that. And even when people try and protest against the woke movement, they often get attacked.
Yep. Oh well, violence is often the last. Sorry, they'll basically do everything they can. Violence is always the last straw, right?
Well, not for these. I think they jump to violence more actively and energetically without resorting to any other means because they want to use because they can't argue their points. Their ideology is based on such fallacy and untruth that in a fair argument, they always get destroyed.
Well, they don't have any other tools at their disposal but violence or screaming. That's it.
That's
who they got.
Manipulation.
Manipulation, yeah.
They lie and by the way, they've admitted stuff like this, right? Vorsh, Mr. Activist loving horses man himself, right, has said blatantly that he will stretch the truth or lie so long as it, pushes the goals forward.
Yeah.
Okay?
I will only do that so far as it's funny or offensive and funny. Those are the only two segments.
But also obvious. You're not actually trying to mislead people.
No, I'm trying to mislead them. I'm trying to mislead everyone.
See, some people don't pick up on your sarcasm sometimes, Oz.
Yeah, they're called communists.
Yeah. And literally, when I introduce Oz to people, I have to basically tell them, you have to expect everything he says is sarcastic.
Yeah.
Because Oz is one of those types of people that loves to actually say things that he doesn't believe, but make people think that is because he finds it's funny when they get things wrong.
Well, what I want is to make them laugh by
Yes.
any means necessary. By any means necessary. Because if you can make someone laugh at whatever you've done, basically they'll forgive you if it's a genuine laugh, no matter what you do.
So this is absolutely in their playbook, and so they will either lie about it because they can't speak honestly because their ideology is founded on so many just factual falsehoods, right? And then if they're called out on it, they will then either try and shame people. They'll call them names like, you don't want to be a bigot, you don't want to be a sexist, do you? And so again, they use shame and threats of cancellation, all that stuff. That's exactly what Sweet Baby Inc. was doing. You don't want your game to be called sexist, do you? So you better hire us and listen to us, otherwise you might be called sexist. So they do all that, and then of course, violence is there as well, and they've been willing to jump to violence so readily. And there are multiple examples of this, and not only that, express and encourage violence. Like when Jordan Peterson had that interview with Kathy Newman, okay, he got more comments in orders of magnitude than her about someone saying, I just want to punch this guy. This guy needs to shut up and get kicked in the head. All those type of things. Voicing desires to see violence done against someone is a constant, right? And they do it to us as well. Like if it's about even, it could be about AI art, which is but it seems that it's interesting how so many people who are against AI art fall into an interestingly progressive kind of, not everyone by the way, but there's a clear thing about the ideology and perspective that comes into that.
Yeah.
But whether it's about that or what we do here on Night's Watch, people have been just saying, there's been even people like drawing images of me getting attacked violently as an expression of their distaste for who I am.
Well, if they want to add any level of realism, do you have a sword in it?
No.
I've seen you fight. I have felt the power in your arms, Shad. It is no small thing.
I was got to experience the strength of my headlocks once upon a time.
I said I could break out of it, and wouldn't you know it, we got outside, he put me in the headlock. I survived is the important thing.
Yes, he survived, and he got legitimately pissed at me.
I wasn't pissed. I'm not salty. I didn't eat breakfast that morning. I didn't have my strength.
I grew up wrestling a lot with my brothers. I have an older brother, and it was good training, even though he was 3 years older than me. Never beat my brother. But I tell you what, as a result, I never got beaten in school.
Yeah, I got into plenty of fights. And you can see the handiwork of one when I got punched in the back of the head and kicked in the face twice.
You've gone through some stuff.
Well, I like to think that the more bruises you have, the more you forget about how you got them.
There's a reason why you connected with the Fall Guy.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't you know it, in a response to Grum's pushing back against woke agenda, and by the way, the censorship in games, the offense they take at sexy women and the fact that they don't want women to be sexy and that's male gaze and all that stuff is so extreme that people who are trying to just give people games that they want, they go to that extreme. And Grums, of course, replies, now they want to hire hitmen to take me out. What did I tell everyone? They want you dead over game tweets. I've had 4 to 5 calls of violence today alone. Right? Because I'm asking for Stellar Blade to be restored to what was advertised.
Yeah.
Unhinged. And guess what? Another person did it, right? This one is a streamer. And let's listen to what she says. Now, this one is clearly a joke. You'll see the context, but it's one of those jokes that, no, right?
Listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear and make Eve's breasts bigger. Okay, you have to do both.
Why?
All right? Because then it's a win-win for me.
But
I get more breast, and I don't have to see that moron on my timeline anymore.
But he's arguing for the thing you've just asked for.
Not the breast being bigger, but just uncensored. But
Yeah, but it's
she's a political Twitch streamer, right? And so because he's the ideological enemy, and she says just so she doesn't have to see the moron on her timeline, because in her world the block button doesn't exist, Oz.
So who is this bitch streamer? I mean, Twitch streamer?
I don't know and really don't care. But it will Denims TV. Because Grums reports, Twitch streamer Denims TV ups my bounty to 30,000 while reacting to Asmon's Gold's video about Toneman's death threats against me. This is getting out of hand. This should be a permanent suspension on Twitch. Yes, it should. And X, also FBI, should be looking into it. Now, this is clearly sarcastic with the whole, and make the boobs bigger kind of thing. But the thing is, though, by encouraging this type of sentiment, right, it's encouraging people to at least resort or think about wanting violence done against those that they disagree with.
Yeah.
Okay? And she's also saying it in such a way that she would celebrate and compliment, people for doing it. I would up the bounty, and I would be grateful of you, if you made this guy disappear, right? And there are crazy people in the world. Actual crazy people in the world that are impressionable, all right? This is why we and many other people on the right always say, don't harass people that were calling out, don't dox, and actual harassment. We have a video on what is harassment. Don't dox them, do not threaten or anything like that, right? Why does it only seem more one side doing that, while the other side seems to be more often calls to violence?
Because, the crazy people in the world you're talking about? Yeah. They're on that side.
Maybe. Also, maybe one side has more moral authority and truth backing them up, and they just simply act better. And then these unhinged activist weirdos, right? They can't win, and so violence. Okay, and look, I'm not saying that comments of wishes of violence haven't come from, the conservative side or anything like that, but I see more voices on the conservative side calling that out and condemning it. Like us here, the Quartering done this multiple times, and of course, even all the others, right? They always say, don't harass, it's all stupid, don't do that.
As anyone who's ever been in a couple fights will know, and anyone who's ever been in one of Shad's headlocks, it's not a good idea to talk a big game if you're not certain you could, actually do it. And that's the thing in fights, there's no certainty. So you should just stay silent about it.
These people are cowards. They wouldn't do it themselves, but they would encourage other people to do it for them.
Yeah.
And there are crazy, impressionable people, especially if they're going to be simping after, women and stuff heaps, and she's a Twitch streamer, I wouldn't put it past her, right? In terms of her being a thought, meaning I wouldn't put it past her.
Thoughts? I don't know.
I think the Quartering mentioned that she's the type of person that has OnlyFans in bios. And if it wasn't Quartering, I'm sorry if but someone was talking about her, and they said she's the type of person that has that in their bio.
I reckon you're right, because in terms of correlation, because what sane man would pay for her OnlyFans?
It's just another one of those things. But it also is a reflection that Grums, mate, you're effective. They wouldn't be reacting like this if you weren't making a difference, and you are, mate. So keep at it. Stay the course.
Can I just add one thing? Look, she's not unattractive or ugly. It's just I don't like her joke.
That makes her unattractive to you.
Yes, that's mainly it.
Yeah.
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 And it was illogical. I want here's a $30,000 bounty for the joke police to investigate her and seriously talk to her about getting better material.
Yeah.
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 But she's a woman, so can't be funny. It's unfortunate.
I know you're joking.
Look, men have stronger elbows than women. This is a fact. Funny bone.
Funny bone.
That was an awful joke.
That was a very bad one.
Yeah.
This whole thing keeps progressing and evolving in very interesting ways, and we will keep watching closely because that's what we do. Stay on watch.